Hello friends. In the fifth lecture we will consider lecture on defense of poetry by Shelley, which is not a defense in the literal meaning of the term, but it is only a rebuttal we have seen. We will consider expression of imagination, what is meant by expression of imagination, who is a poet, and what is poetry. Already you have seen in the fourth lecture what is poetry, but something more. Of course, some ideas will be repeated, some concepts will be explained again and again. So what you find is, how is imagination expressed? Through mimesis. That is the only way out. No? You can only express it by mimesis. See that? And then what happens is, when you are young, how do you express your mimesis? Dance. See that? Movements of your body, imitating natural objects. What do you observe? Say for example, rhythm and order in nature, the flowing of a river, falling, the waterfalls, swaying of the branches of the tree in the wind. Then you find the movements of animals. You will find there is movements of animals, sounds animals make. See, it is said that karate, that martial art, it is based on animal cry. You can see now, there will be, I don't know this martial art, but you can see, like this. Whenever they do some motion, then they will be making a sound also. So that is animal cry. That's based on that. So that is imitation again, imitation order. Or you find the flowering, a flower, see, you find the flower blossoming like this. Or you find flowering of a tree, there is some rhythm and order in that, flowering of a tree. Shedding of leaves, there is an order in that, or rhythm there you will find. Then you will find everything in nature has a rhythm. Even when you are walking, there is a rhythm. Understand? That rhythm, when you find it, the rhythm is codified and structured, it is NCC march. Isn't it? In college you have got NCC. So that is the rhythm. Okay. All men observe these things, but not in the same order. That is the thing. All men observe. Falling of an apple, there is a rhythm. All men observe it, but certain people have insights. Dance, for example. Everybody dances. I can also dance 1 or 2 steps. But what about Michael Jackson? The moonwalk. He becomes famous by that. Melody. Can sing melodious songs, but what about Lata Mangeshkar? It's different. So everybody does not observe and imitate this order and rhythm in the same way. Or is a combination of language, for example. There is a rhythm in that. See, when Shakespeare says, neither a lender nor a borrower. Or when he says, there's a famous saying now in As You Like It, everybody must taste grief, but that has it. But that has it. But has a meaning there, different meaning. Now, I went there, but I did not get it, not that meaning. But means there except. Everybody must taste grief, but that has it. Just become an axiom, a proverb. To that we are coming. Or when Bacon says some books are to be tasted, some to be chewed and digested. There is a rhythm in that, combination of language. Or Bacon opens studies for delight, for ornament and for ability. And their chief delight later. So there is a rhythm in that. Understand? Or when T.S. Eliot begins his famous poem, April is the cruelest month. There is a rhythm. April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land. See? Stirring dull roots with spring rain, mixing memory and desire, stirring dull roots with the participles ending. There is a rhythm. I cannot do that, you cannot do it. But he can do it. He could do it. He did it. That is so different. We imitate rhythm each one according to his ability. Understand? And then all mimetic representation, as I told you, is not the same. Either hearer and the spectator, they also receive it in differently. See, the hearer and the spectator, they also listen to this in a different way, different order. All people do. See, whenever I have seen 80-20 principle can be applied everywhere. You first get into a class as a teacher. You will find 80% students will like you, 20% will dislike you. What is the reason? No reason. So that is the order. That is the rhythm of liking and disliking. So that is it. So hearer and spectator, they also don't do it in the same way, same order. A sense of approximation to this order or beauty or truth is taste. So what is taste? Next point is this. Taste is a sense of approximation, means nearing. Approximation to rhythm, order, truth, beauty, and so on. So, understand? Some people, they see the statue of David. They statue, they go. But some people stand there. They observe how it has been made. Why is it taller than ordinary human being? It's 70.5 feet or so. Why? Because when it is kept at that height, you must feel that is a human being who has got only 6 feet. That's not the reason. If it is only 6 feet, you will see it at 3 feet. So, Michelangelo did it in such a way that anybody who stands on the ground and looks at that statue should feel that it is as tall as a normal human being. Now, such things you can study, you can enjoy. Frescoes, or the pyramids. Pyramids. It's better to go and see some mountains. So that's not the way how all the people don't have taste. So that taste is a sense of approximation to the order, to the beauty, to the truth, to the Taj Mahal. Orders actually, after seeing Taj Mahal, he said, there are some faults in Taj Mahal. What are the faults he listed? Those pillars were not. Those pillars not necessary. So taste differs. Approximation to beauty differs. That's the thing. Poets in whom it exists in excess. Humans in whom the taste, that is approximation to beauty, yes. Approximation to beauty, sense of approximation to beauty in excess, they are poets. Persons, that is the definition of poet. So we have seen what is expression of imagination is by mimesis. Who is a poet? A person who has got this taste in excess, or who has got that ability for approximation in excess, approximation to beauty, to order, to rhythm in excess. Then what will they do? First they will communicate to themselves, and then they will communicate to others. Whatever they gather from society. Their language is vitally metaphorical. Whose language? Poet's language. Why? Because similitude, value, universal principles, new thoughts. So it has to be. Already I told you the relation between eye and needle, foot and hill. See that? And then you can say, discovers, and then what happens is they apprehend To be a poet, you should apprehend true and beautiful. So they are metaphorical. They are similitude. So they express, their language is essentially metaphorical. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Shakespeare. Shall I compare thee to a summer? Not our summer. This year the summer is, we are now suffering scorching heat. After 10 o'clock you cannot go out. Not this summer. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? You cannot say. Understand? That is summer in England. I have not been to England. People say summer is the most beautiful time of the year. That time of the year, that time of the year, that time of the year, I forgot that line. That is sonnet. That time, yes, I forgot it. Sorry, but it has not. It has an example. So nothing to do with the process, thought process here. Or when we say, lines like approximation between excess. Was this the face? Yes, was this the face? The morn in russet mantle clad walks over yon high eastern hills. Approximation to beauty. You apprehend, to be a poet, you have to apprehend the true and the beautiful in the world. Understand? Then you have become a poet. And then what happens is, next generation of poets should come and discover new relations and then perpetuate these relations. That is, new relations. So you have, otherwise what will happen? The language will die. It will be a dead language. New poets should experiment with this language. New artists should experiment. You find T.S. Eliot again, I would like to take his example. He finds relation between taxi and the heart of the typist in the fire sermon. He finds a new relation between a new way of expressing the mechanical relationship in human beings. A relationship which ought to be so intimate has become so commercial. Sans means without all feelings, all emotions. I need not say love, there is nothing like that. So that's another way of looking at things, using the same language. If poets don't do that, one after another, then the language will die. That's why we say when you are studying history of the English language, makers of the English language, we say. Who are the makers of English language? Chaucer. Next, Shakespeare. You have Milton, translators of the Bible. They are makers of the English language. Like that, every language has got makers. Otherwise, the language will die. What do they do? Actually, they are finding out new relations between metaphor and metaphorical language. They are creating new metaphorical language to keep the language alive. And after some time, what will happen? These will become proverbs. They will become universal axioms, universal principles. They will become universal. Neither a lender nor a borrower be, for loan oft loses itself and friends. So it has become a universal principle. And because there is a relationship. That relationship was discovered by Shakespeare. Rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. See? Again, a relation. And these have become proverbs. Listen. So, every line written by Aeschylus, The Greeks considered as proverbs. That is the thing. So language is like that. Metaphor, find new relation, and they pass into history, and in history it will remain as a storehouse of axioms and proverbs. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Axiom. Nobody can heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. Axioms. It remains. It remains in the storehouse of common knowledge. Anybody can participate in that. Anybody can draw from it, like money from a bank account, a public bank account. Is there anything like public bank account where anybody can go and draw money? In literature we have got it. Understand? In fact he says poetry. So this is poetry. What is poetry? Anything that is the new discoveries. And Bacon has said, you know what Bacon said? The same footsteps of nature impressed upon various subjects of the world. Bacon said, the same footsteps of nature impressed upon various subjects. The same footsteps means nature is the same. But what do? You perceive in a different way. Subjects of the world. Various subjects of the world. So this is how we keep the language alive. The same footsteps of nature impressed upon various subjects of the world. Subjects here means humans. Also it could mean what you observe. Anyhow, new thoughts should come up. That's why we say, no? You say like this, modern poetry, ancient poetry, see? Even in criticism you will find the same. Isn't it? When you come to Mathew, a new critic, we can say, he is the father of new criticism, the founder of new criticism. He is the man who made a departure. Said, not personal, not historical, but real poetry. Study real poetry, he says. And real poetry is the close reading of now the 20th century. New criticism. Not personal estimate, not historical estimate, but real poetry should be estimated. Away from, that is, the seeds of tradition and individual talent you will find. Isn't it? But impersonal, the poets of T.S.C. tradition and the individual. That is, how is the poet related to the work of art? After the creation, the poet withdraws. There is an object to be discussed. It floats in the air. It's up to you to find out the meaning. So ideas change. Poetry changes. No? Its character changes. Its appearance changes. One that April with the Shure. That is beautiful April. In the hands of T.S.L. April is the cruelest month. That is it. This is what the same footsteps of nature impressed upon various subjects of the world. You understand? I hope you are following. So, in one way again he says all are poets. The very fact, because we have seen in the fourth lecture we saw, no? It is imitation, the faculty of imitation is connate or innate in human being. The very fact that you are a human being, you have got the ability or talent to imitate, mimesis. So, what are the processes? The processes are You exist, then you perceive. You perceive and then you express. So your existence leads to perception, and your perception leads to expression. And what about language? Shelley said, every original language is in itself the chaos of a cyclic poem. Every original language is the chaos of a cyclic poem. What does that mean? You have this metaphor relationship there, but they are hidden. Whatever the poet, there is eye, you have got that word. Then if you have got needle, you have got that word. That is chaos. Chaos of a cyclic poem. And then what happens is, when you discover new relations, when your language becomes metaphorical, you become a poet. You approximate to beauty, yourself to beauty and truth. When it is in excess, this everybody has. But when it is in excess, you become a poet. Simple. Or what we say, sixth sense. Ordinary human beings have only 5 senses. But these poets, they have got 6 senses. And then he adds, he says that copiousness of lexicography, copiousness and the distinctions of grammar, these are works of later ages. Copiousness of lexicography means words. You are getting a list of words. And also restrictions or rules of grammar. These are works of later ages. What is the first one? That is to be a poet. And this, what helps you to become a poet? Perception. What will you do? Express it. How? Using language. Why? Because every language is a cyclic poem in chaos. Every language is the chaos of a cyclic poem. You have it there. See? That's what you have to find out. You know how people, how people manage to explore gold, isn't it? You don't get gold as such there. It is mixed with so many things, minerals and sand and soil and all kinds of things. But then what does the man who is interested in El Dorado, that is gold rush, what will he do? Take this and manage to purify everything, finally he gets gold. Like this. You have to dig deep. Every language is what he says is a chaos of a cyclic poem. Every language is the chaos of a beautiful expressions. Language. How does Shelley? You must read that original. Understand that? Otherwise you will be missing, you will miss the beauty of that style, Shelley style. I hope it is clear to you. Now once again, expression of imagination, how do you do? By mimesis. It can be in the form of dance, it can be in the form of music, it can be in the form of using language or anything like that. Poet is the one, everybody has got the talent or the capacity to approximate to the beautiful. The person of beautiful and the true, the person who has got this approximation in excess is the poet. And such people have taste. All the people don't have the same taste or same approximation, level of approximation to beauty. There is gradation. If you have got it in excess, then you become a poet. And then what is poetry? Poetry is an innate, everybody is a poet. Because everybody can perceive, everybody exists, everybody perceives, everybody a perception they have got and they express it. So everybody is a poet. But difference we have already seen, the intensity. The intensity. And what about language? Every poem, every language is we can say itself a chaos of a cyclic poem. Every language is in itself is a chaos of a, means it is hidden. What happens to these poems, poem and this art of writing poetry and so on, they become part of the common bank of knowledge. You can draw from that. From proverbs, axioms and general principles, universal principles, expressing value, expressing similitude. Ages after ages, generations after generations, new poets should find, or new human beings should find, not new human beings, human beings should find new relationships. Otherwise, the language will become dead. So, a poet is the maker of a language. One of the duties, yes, it says, one of the duties of a poet is to make contributions to his language. Not creating a branch or something like that, but by putting things, new combinations, so to say. There should be new combinations. Listen. What are the roots that clutch? What branches grow out of this stony rubbish, son of man? You cannot say, oh, guess for you, a heap of broken images. A brand new combination. Words are all known to us, but the combination is something different. That is what makes great poets. So as I very often quote this line because they are very beautiful. Keep up your bright sword for the sword, for the dew will rust them. Simple words put together, but according to P.B.Shelley, that is great poetry. An expression like witching time of the night. Witching time of the night. Macbeth. What do you think about that? New combinations. Otherwise, language will die. Okay friends, thank you very much for listening to me. We will meet again with another installment of this Shelley's Defense of Poetry. Until then, bye. Have a nice day. Enjoy.